Nanalo ng Fang Feud na the Fashion Institute of the Philippines, 2,000 pesos.
Family Feud, 5:35 p.m.
Ang patch ng December 21, 2023 sign off, hindi na ere ang ating 2024 Pulo. Manood, maglaro at manalo. Presyo nasa palikutan page. Ito sa Pai.
Welcome to my episode that is called
That's okay.
Strikes in Iran, with Washington casting the strikes as a powerful response to Iranian missiles launched towards U.S. forces in the Middle East. The latest strikes also come after a drone hit a U.S.-owned gas storage tanker at Egypt's Mediterranean port of Damietta, threatening to draw more countries into the conflict.
Yes.
After the Iran-aligned Houthis in Yemen last week declared a naval blockade on Saudi Arabia. Stay tuned for a Reuters exclusive later in the pod on how officials are worried cell phone videos shared online are helping Iran target American bases and may confiscate troops' phones.
Damn it.
The Federal Reserve has held interest rates steady, with inflation worries still in focus. 3 of the 12 members of the Federal Open Market Committee dissented, pushing for a 0.25 percentage point hike to address sticky inflation. It's Kevin Warsh's second meeting as Trump's picked to helm the Fed. And as our Fed reporter Ann Safir explains, the dissent provides insights into future moves.
It was Dallas Fed President Lori Logan who had said just about a week ago that she actually thought rates should be higher. The 2 others who also dissented, they were Cleveland Fed's President Beth Hammack and Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari. Both also felt that there should be a rate hike. What are you waiting for, in other words? And Kevin Warsh, the chairman of the Fed, at his press conference today, gave some of an explanation of that. He said that they want to look at the big picture, make sure that they're asking the right questions.
We understand that the 5+ years of inflation above target cannot be cured in 9 weeks or by a single month of modest price decreases.
It's only his second meeting, and already policymakers feel that a rate hike needs to happen. We're not really willing to sort of step aside and give way to the chairman, but really make their feelings known out loud and clear. It takes on a little bit more importance now because Kevin Warsh does not like to talk about where he thinks rates should go, or even very much about how he thinks the Fed should react to particular events in the economy.
For more analysis, here's Mike Dolan from our sister podcast, Morning Bids.
So the Fed held the line, but 3 policy makers voted for an interest rate rise, and that's the biggest dissent against an incoming Fed chair since 1970. And it explains why the market was so uncertain going into this meeting, and it remains uncertain about the outcome for the next one in September. But the most interesting market reaction has been a steep rise in the long-term Treasury borrowing costs, with the 30-year yield hitting its highest level in 19 years, amid some concern that the Fed is hesitant to raise interest rates and may tolerate above-target inflation for a longer.
Thanks, Mike. You can get Morning Bids wherever you get your podcasts.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Dr. Anthony Fauci on Capitol Hill yesterday. The top U.S. infectious disease expert during the COVID-19 pandemic, Fauci declined to answer questions from longtime critic Senator Rand Paul.
And you haven't deviated from that. You've never admitted that it could have been a mistake funding this research in China.
Paul has for years accused Fauci of lying to Congress about the origins of the disease and called for his imprisonment. Fauci accused Paul of a, quote, unhinged obsession.
The only conclusion
I can reach is that the sole reason he is calling me before this committee is to get me to say something, anything, that could vindicate his repeated public pledges that I end up, in his words, quote, behind bars, unquote.
Russia has bombarded Ukraine with attacks extending as far as the western city of Lviv, forcing neighbouring Poland, a member of the European Union and NATO, to scramble fighter jets to secure its airspace. Polish police in the Lublin region close to Ukraine's border say they received a report of a loud bang and discovered a crater and scattered debris from an unidentified object in a field. The attacks come as Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky returns from the United States, where he says President Donald Trump agreed to give Ukraine licenses for Patriot missiles. The top US commander in the Middle East is warning troops that cell phone videos posted online are helping Iran target American bases. A letter sent by Admiral Brad Cooper calls on troops to focus on operational security, saying Iran is using social media posts and news reports to assess the success of its strikes in near real time. Sources have told Reuters that some deployed personnel could soon be ordered to surrender their phones altogether. Our Pentagon reporter Phil Stewart explains.
It's unlike anything we've really seen before. During the wars on terrorism in Afghanistan and Iraq, the adversaries didn't have the kind of sophistication that we're seeing with Iran in its missile and drone salvos. This issue is really a result of Iran's very precise targeting that's using GPS to fire missiles and drones at U.S. bases. And sometimes they're benefiting from the videos from these cell phones from soldiers to actually hone their strikes, increase the accuracy and lethality of their targeting. It's a concern for the military. It's also a concern for journalists who rely on accounts like this to get some transparency about what's going on in the battlefield because so little information is coming out.
A U.S. Central Command spokesperson said the message is a reminder to service members on the importance of maintaining operational security. Now to global backlash against the messaging app Telegram. Australia's internet regulator says it's begun legal action against the platform over alleged failings to tackle pro-terror posts. Telegram says it rejects the allegations. It comes a day after Russia said it's charging Telegram's founder, Pavel Durov, with facilitating terrorist activity, and that his hugely popular messaging app is being used by Ukrainian spies to organize attacks inside Russia. The app has been described as a virtual battlefield in the war between Russia and Ukraine, used by officials, soldiers, and influential bloggers on both sides. Telegram responded to the charge by posting a photo on X of Durov, a Dubai resident, holding up a middle finger. Now to Sudan. The United Nations experts have found that Boeing 727s, linked by Reuters to a US military contractor's business network, transported mercenaries, weapons, and drones for Sudan's rapid support forces. The planes were operated by companies tied to a former US Army Special Forces soldier. Our investigative reporter Reed Levinson explains how Reuters uncovered the story.
In May 2025, a Boeing 737 was destroyed at an airport in Darfur, in Sudan. On board were 51 fighters from the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, a paramilitary group the UN has said committed genocide. And the crew? Employees of a company owned by Stephen Shaulis, an American Army veteran turned government contractor, whose companies have earned more than $400 million from American taxpayers. That led us to more planes. In total, to 3 old Boeing aircraft, flying to key logistics hubs for the RSF, in Somalia, in Libya, and in Darfur. Shaulis has worked as a U.S. contractor for more than 20 years, and he leads a company that has built infrastructure for U.S. troops in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and around the world. He declined to answer our questions, but his business partner told us that the company has never had any connection to the RSF, and that our findings were, to the best of their knowledge, false.
As health authorities in the US struggle to get a handle on the cyclosporiasis outbreak across the US, it's creating uncertainty among consumers about what's safe to eat. And that means Americans are curbing restaurant visits and skipping the greens at grocery stores. Our food and agricultural reporter Tom Polansek explains the knock-on effect on restaurants.
Because it's not clear exactly what is causing cases of cyclosporiasis, there are many consumers who are taking a better safe than sorry approach, and they're cutting back on fresh produce in general. We've seen data showing that lettuce sales at grocery stores are down almost 20% over the last 2 weeks. And data on foot traffic at several major restaurant chains also shows a decline. This is in particular happening at restaurants that rely heavily on produce. Taco Bell, which was linked to an outbreak initially, has seen a decline, along with restaurants such as Chipotle, Panera, and the salad chain Chopped.
Taco Bell has said it removed affected Taylor Farms lettuce from its restaurants as of July 17th. For more on any of the stories from today, check out Reuters.com or the Reuters app. Don't forget to follow us on your favourite podcast player. If you're listening on a smart speaker, just ask for the latest news from Reuters 7 days a week. We'll be back tomorrow with our daily headline show.
That's it for your news updates. To see more stories, open Google News.